Unfortunately, when I joined the company, I found myself in the shoes of briefing for qualitative work and also evaluating this work and discuss the pros and cons of online versus offline and what to do. Obviously, with my background, I had no idea, as majority of my colleagues. So that's the first disclaimer. I have no idea about qualitative work, though I've been commissioning this for the last 2 years. That's a good start. And second disclaimer is, and the people who actually work for Nestle know that we're an extraordinarily fragmented company, that though we're global, we are local, and so on. So at this presentation, I will speak on behalf of Nestle Research Center, not on behalf of the whole Nestle. So it's basically only a Nestle Research Center Lausanne. And just I want to make it clear that I'm not speaking on behalf of the whole Nestle. The question which is coming from here is, who is aware of Nestle Research Center? Oh my God, that's not too bad. It's actually better than the average audience. It's what, 6%, 7%? That's great. We're doing not too bad. I'll just quickly explain for the rest of the audience what we do, because it's extraordinarily important to understand the context in which we operate and how we evaluate our qualitative supplies and qualitative work. So I'll just skip this straight away. Mission of our center is basically delivering excellence in food and nutrition science to products and services as the trusted innovation partner for all Nestle businesses. Translating into a very simple language, we have over 500 scientists, extraordinarily smart people, who are working on a wacky science. Hopefully there's no one from Nestle here, so I can say that. So it's impossible to understand sometimes, so it's very fundamental. So they work on genes and how genes predict your food choices, work on your brain and how different molecules in your brain would dictate what products you would choose, and so on. So it's an extraordinarily complicated science. So the idea is, if you leave these 500 scientists uncontrolled, they will do whatever they want to. So they employ people like me and the team who basically keep them in check, which basically go, you work on this, explain to me how it's going to be related to my consumers and how we're going to commercialize this in 5 or 10 years' time. And they try to explain it with limited success. So, and basically the whole idea, again, and people who work for Nestle know this chart, I'm sure, by heart. It's basically our innovation sweet spot chart. And here, what's important to understand that we do believe at NRC that we need to connect consumers and science in order to get a commercial product. Sounds like a common sense, but in reality, it's extraordinarily difficult to do in our environment. So basically, the department where I work within NRC is a food consumer interaction department. And the role of this department is to understand holistically the consumer. So it goes a little bit beyond that a normal market research agency works upon. So we, as I said already, work on sensory receptors, brain integration, look at the genes, how genes would develop, what kind of water you're going to select, and so on. We've got specialists like scientists who work on the perception, satiety, when you feel hungry, why you feel hungry, and so on. And underpinning all this, we also look at the consumer behavior. So when we actually look at our consumer, we look through the whole stages, from here to here. So we fully holistically understand our consumers, not just their final behavioral aspects or habits of this consumer. That's a small part of it. Me personally, I concentrate on this part, and my smarter colleagues are concentrating on that part. And that's one of the tension which we will have, and I'll explain to you from a qualitative perspective. That's one of the tension we have, and I need your help. So basically, a challenging project. A couple of years ago, I joined the company, and everyone started talking about, let's do qualitative. I go, why? I have no idea. Everyone is doing. We have to do this well. We're supposed to be innovative. We're a Nestle Research Center, for God's sake. And I go, okay, well, who's going to do it? No one has a qualitative background. I go, well, you do it. Okay, I'll do it. So that's how it basically started. We have NRC natural team at the center, and they work from different angles how to make a more natural product. And if you think about it, it sounds easy, but it's actually hard, because you can look at it from different perspectives. It's preservation, natural coloring, packaging, and so on. And these guys work on a lot of stuff in that area. So they came to me and go, yeah, we do work on a lot of stuff in this area. Tell me which is going to have an effect on the consumer from a natural perspective. So basically, tell me on what area I shall work that at the end the product is perceived more natural. And bear in mind, cross-category, cross-country. So no specific category, no specific country. Challenging task, so our team goes, okay, we'll do it. We briefed 3 agencies, 2 of them traditional, let's put it this way, and 1 semi-traditional. And because we're in an innovative mode, we decided, okay, we'll go with semi-traditional. So they seem that they know what they're doing. I'm not sure I'll do it again, by the way. So it's a lot of risk. What we did, and again, before I show this chart, you need to understand the context. We're an extraordinary conservative organization, Nestle as a whole. And NRC is triple conservative. So what we did in these 2 years, you already done 5 or 6 years ago. But still, we actually had a lot of challenges. So I don't envy clients who use services of the agencies 5, 6 years ago to do the stuff we did in the last 2 years. So what we started with the social listening exercises, which actually we do internally using Radiant 6. And we try to understand what topics consumers are discussing in terms of naturalness. What's the current affairs topics? And non-surprisingly, there was a lot about preservatives. So that's fine, we understood that. And after that, the agency came and go, fantastic. What we're going to do ad hoc online discussion forums and webcam-based focus groups. Oh my God, I thought that sounds great. Like I watched it in the movie, webcam focus groups. So we started. No, seriously, it was extraordinarily interesting for me. And so we start doing this. And just to give you the whole picture how it works, once you do this, the work doesn't stop. After that, I have to do a lot of other research in terms of regulatory, in terms of laboratory trial, and so on. And the tension here comes in the results which will fit to different people in different groups. And by nature, people who are in these groups, they're scientists. They're well-trained, hardcore scientists. And that's important to understand in the context of the next slides. So they're well-trained scientists with a scientific mentality, and they need proofs. So because we tell them what to do, and they just don't like it. So, okay. So basically what we did, and we started with online discussion forums. We asked them to make pictures of different products, which are natural, which are not natural, and so on. I'm not going to bore you with details. But what was the exciting part, we were supposed to invite them to do web-based focus groups. It's like I was looking forward to it. So it was 7 o'clock in the evening. I stayed at work with my internal stakeholders. It was an embarrassing moment. 7 o'clock in the evening. And we were supposed to have these things, and an email from the agency coming, we don't have people. I go, what do you mean we don't have people? Like, we have the people in the online discussion board. You said you recruited them. Where are they? I go, yes, and they said they're coming, but they're not coming. They're not here, so we only have 1. I go, fantastic, what am I supposed to tell to my client? But and they explained to me the reason, because we tried the second time the next week, and they go, well, we have to do it in the most disciplined country in the world, the most disciplined one. That's where people say they will do it, they will actually come. And this country is Germany, of course. I mean, seriously. So it's Germany. So let's do it in Germany. Sure, we'll get these people in. Seriously. They say they come. They'll definitely come. Same exercise. Like 12. We had 12 or 15 people. I don't remember per country. Let's say 15 people in discussion board. 12 agreed to participate. 1 showed up. I go, well, I'm not doing this exercise anymore, like it's embarrassing. So explain to me the reasons. And what they explain to me, they go, they like participating in the online groups because it's convenient for them in terms of timing. They log in anytime they want to log in. They log off anytime they want to log off. But if you tell them to come at 6 o'clock, they go piss off. They're not disciplined enough, and by the nature of the online responses. I'm not a practitioner to evaluate this claim. It's just basically the explanation why people are so non-committal to a certain timing when they actually have to do something online. Basically, and what's interesting as well, in this exercise we did, and the trick, we did another exercise. We tried to quantify something within the online board. And that's actually the discussion I've heard around practitioners here, that we run a qual exercise. Because they're already here, let's ask them questions. Let's quantify something. Let's get the numbers in, 20% or 50%. What you need to understand, and that's the problem within this exercise, is that after that, the clients grab this figure, get the context out, and this figure start traveling around the world. And after that, you get 25% of respondents say that they read label list. And after that, I have to fight and explain to a lot of people that's not true. That's bollocks. But because of because of this kind of shift of qualitative researchers trying to quantify something just because it's convenient and report it to the client as an added value, that actually brings more danger than good. Bad data is actually worse than no data at all. And that's important to understand. That's the problem we had here. So, and just one more thing. So, when basically we commissioned the study and or you pitch for work, you need to understand that we need to go through a lot of checkboxes with a lot of people. So when you pitch for innovative work, and you're all innovators here, you need to understand we have to do triple work, and you need to help us. So because, for example, for myself, I'll not do the second time unless I'm absolutely sure that all my stakeholders are fine. My first stakeholder was legal experts, and by the nature where I work, that's a big stakeholder. It's basically, they say, no, you don't do anything. So when I told them that we're going online, and again, we're very conservative, right? That we're going online, they told me, what? And I go, what do you mean? Like, I mean, everyone is doing it for 15 years already. Like, I mean, seriously, like, we're 15 years behind. And they go, no, we're not doing this. And I go, explain to me why. And usual legal stuff. Data protection, who owns the data, and so on. Actually, who owns the data? That's an interesting question that my agency couldn't answer, and we had a discussion. Because we had to duplicate the forums, and we did it in a public place as well, on the Google forums. That once you actually talk on the publicly available forums, who owns this data? Whom does it belong to? So that's the legal questions I was facing in. The second question which I was facing, and that's already explained to you, that this unstoppable desire of qualitative researchers these days to quantify something. So we're running a bulletin board, let's ask a question. Let's get the numbers in. So unfortunately, obviously, I can't show you the real results of the study. So the numbers and the order doesn't really matter because they just got out of the context and so on. What matters is, so let's assume for one category, for one country, that's a qualitative report, simplifying it. That's the nature how people make decisions in terms of naturalness. They start from product category, go to brand, claim, package, ingredient list, for example. After that, they quantify this data, they quantify this question within these bulletin boards and get different results. So, and my question is straight away, I have to report this data to my stakeholders, and many of them are scientists. Many of them are scientists. They would tell me this. What is the theoretical substantiation of online qual research method you use in your study? What are bollocks? Why is it contradictory to each other? Explain to me how can you prove internal validity of your results and so on. And they're scientists trained for someone. What am I going to tell them? Not really much, you know. I say, like, you have to trust me on this. No, but seriously, trust me on this. I like that, like, I mean, with agency. Just, you have to trust my experience. 15 years of experience, that's good. And that's the questions which you get from food scientists, statisticians, anthropologists, and so on. So all over the place. So help me to answer this question, like, please do. So the massive challenge which I was facing, and that's why I was thinking, maybe I should never do this study because, or study like that, because it's just too much headache for me, is there's a lot of faith of a lot of people in what's supposed to be right. And if we move them somewhere else in a different direction and use different methodologies, we have to be extraordinarily prepared to justify that and basically explain why this is supposed to be done this way from theoretical point of view, not from a common sense point of view, but basically why shall I trust? So basically, how do we ensure the theoretical substantiation of emerging online market research methods turn the trust in results from scientifically minded R&D community? So we need to have the trust. I mean, I need as a client because I don't want to go somewhere else and basically do research like that, face the questions from my internal clients who are extraordinarily smart and go, I don't know the answer. So how many projects were commissioned to non-traditional research methods in 2012 by NRC? Can anyone guess? No, zero. Like, I mean, I've done one. Come on. So one project. And we are the hub of 500 researchers, and we work across categories, across markets, so on a global scale. One. And the reason is because what we're missing from the industry and from practitioners like you is an effort to substantiate what you're creating from a methodological perspective and prove to us that's actually working. That's pretty much it. Oh, no? Oh, okay, I can talk about this one as well. So, just to end up the whole this blurb about is, I'm looking forward, and our team is looking forward to basically a dialogue and cooperation in basically producing theoretical substantiation for the methods that you are developing. Thank you very much.